And one way those industrialized nations may help developing countries is to find profit in tropical forest preservation. Deforestation is blamed for about 20% of the world's CO2 emissions, and halting forest destruction while aiding the people who live there is a major piece of ongoing climate treaty negotiations. The effort is known as RED, an acronym for Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Forest Degradation. Clean Sky's Dee Bombani is here now with us. And Dee, it seems like one of the most difficult challenges for RED is monitoring, and it also sounds like technology could be the solution to this problem.
That's right. The United Nations has said it would cost more than $12 billion annually to conserve remaining forests in the tropics and the subtropics. But if developed nations and companies pay for preservation, how can they be sure the governments of tropical forest nations will actually preserve the forests? The answer is monitoring. There's a new prototype of an online tool that uses NASA satellites to monitor forests halfway around the world. Policy analysts, economists, and scientists at the Center for Global Development in Washington on Wednesday unveiled FORMA, Forest Monitoring for Action. The tool processes data from NASA satellites and other sources to develop detailed maps of deforestation action. The tool can precisely detect forest loss in areas as small as 1/3 of a square mile. The prototype currently only shows forest activity in Indonesia, the world's third largest carbon emitter thanks to 50 years of deforestation. But the analysts at the center say they hope to expand the tool to look at forests in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Bolivia, Ecuador, Malaysia, and Brazil, which has its own national monitoring efforts already underway. Now, David Wheeler, a senior fellow at the center and FORMA's chief architect, says the tool will allow rich countries that pay for forest preservation a way to make sure their dollars aren't going down the drain. He said monitoring the forest activity in these nations is key.
I think what we have fundamentally here today is good news for you. Our exploration suggests that we can, in fact, do this, that we can mobilize information sufficient to engage as a collective, as a global community, in monitoring the progress in this sphere, which will be a key to the sustainable and credible implementation of the RED.
Now, FORMA is Wheeler's second brainchild. The first is CARMA, Carbon Monitoring for Action. Now, that reports CO2 emissions from 50,000 power plants worldwide. The tool shows countries, cities, and companies that operate those plants. Now, you can check out FORMA at www.cgdev.org. /forest, Tyler.
All right, Dee. Well, let's set aside CARMA for just a second and focus on FORMA. Seems like this could be a boost in terms of including deforestation credits in any kind of carbon market, and we know that's a pretty controversial issue right now.
Right. Well, the people I talked to basically said that a tool like this would certainly give a boost to the idea of including deforestation credits in a larger carbon market. One of the sticky situations with allowing deforestation credits in a larger carbon market is that there's no way to monitor. I mean, some of these forest nations would be getting credits not to chop down their trees, but who's really to say whether or not they are chopping those trees down? So this tool would certainly give that a boost if the tool is developed.
All right, Dee Bombani, thank you very much for that update.